In 1950, Guatemala had the first communist-dominated government in the Western Hemisphere. By 1954, under the presidency of Colonel Jacobo Arbenz Guzman, Guatemala was well on its way to becoming the first full-fledged member of the communist bloc on this side of the Atlantic. It was then the United States, cooperating with Colonel Carlos Castillo Armas, who was later assassinated, and the current president, Miguel Ydigoras Fuentes, provided the moral and material means for the overthrow of Arbenz and the temporary removal of communism from the Western Hemisphere.
In 1954, the CIA, under the direction of the then-President Dwight Eisenhower, overthrew the democratically elected government of Guatemala and then-President Jacobo Arbenz for fear of communism. The result was a new precedent for a governance in Guatemala, and one that has left its scars behind to this day: foreign interference, authoritarianism, and bloodshed. On the surface, Guatemala is a stunning country: lush volcanoes, breathtaking landscapes, and a culture deeply rooted in its Mayan heritage. Its people are kind, resilient, and full of pride. But just beneath this beauty lies a history scarred by violence and corruption. From the brutality of Spanish colonization to the 1954 coup to decades of US-backed military dictatorships and a 36-year civil war, the Guatemalan people have endured genocide, repression, and silence. Today, those scars are still visible, in poverty, broken infrastructure, and in a political system that too often serves itself before its citizens. Corruption here isn't just an occasional scandal, it's systemic. In 2023, a spark of hope emerged. Bernardo Arevalo stunned the political elite by winning the presidency on an anti-corruption ticket. His campaign promised change, but the powerful weren't ready to let go. Attorney General Maria Consuelo Porras, who's under U.S. sanctions for obstruction of justice, led a campaign to block Arevalo's victory. His party was suspended. Protest leaders like Luis Pacheco were arrested. For 5 months, the people took to the streets, and on January 15, 2024, after relentless protests, Arevalo was finally inaugurated. We came here to speak with the people, the ones most affected by corruption, to understand what it's like to live under a system built on impunity, and what it means to hope for something better.
I would say that I did have access to a good education, because most people here in Guatemala are not able to go to a private school, let alone a university as well. And the university here is, we just have one public university. It's not that good. I would say that I was lucky at some point when it comes to that, but that's not the reality for most people here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, so would you say that most people, like, they don't have access to education, or they're just stuck in, like, the public, which isn't, you said is good, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be good, it could be bad. It all depends, because since it's a government, the government itself that collects taxes from you, and they supposedly use it on the university to pay teachers, and all the like infrastructure, but they usually don't. You know, corruption here is a great problem. So people, like, I mean, you have some public schools as well, but they're not good. People prefer starting to work instead of studying.
Interesting.
So that's a problem, because they can get access to money, quick money, easy, instead of studying. And you see people that have not studied anything in their lives for, let's say, 40 years.
Wow.
45, yeah. That's the reality for a lot of people here, yeah.
So would you say that's like an issue that Guatemala faces is in the education sector?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest.
Really?
Yeah, probably the
Okay.
biggest. You would see that schools are not in good state, like in good shape. People usually, well, not all the times, but have you seen like blocks for construction blocks?
Yes.
People sometimes sit in those instead of a normal desk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's just the government isn't actually like putting taxes towards that.
That is correct. That's what happens. They take it for themselves,
Interesting.
since no one's selling them anything.
Further research into the issue revealed some worrying statistics. Only 30 to 35% of people aged 20 to 29 in Guatemala have completed high school level education, a number far below the Latin American average. Although the state is required to provide primary school free of charge, 245,000 boys and girls between ages 7 and 12 don't attend school, numbers that were recently on the rise. And as mentioned in the interview, corruption runs rampant in education. The University of San Carlos, the nation's only public university, was affected by student strikes in 2022 as a result of the fraudulent election of a new rector, Walter Mazarregos.
Y ya por eso piensas que el futuro de Guatemala está bien, que van en la buena dirección.
Creo que lo más difícil de mejorar aquí es la cuestión política. O sea, ajá, estamos en un momento de corrupción en Guatemala, hemos tenido problemas muy serios. Hace un año hubo un bloqueo nacional, el país se detuvo totalmente por la situación política que estamos viviendo. Entonces, creo que la población va en una buena dirección porque están aprendiendo muchas cosas con tal de mejorar, pero el problema es que muchas veces ese progreso se bloquea por
el gobierno.
Por el gobierno, ajá. Y cada vez nos ponen más impuestos y más cobros para el gobierno. Y el país está decayendo, las calles, las carreteras.
Te dan impuestos, pero no hacen nada.
Exactamente.
Con eso.
Ajá.
¿Tú piensas que hay un problema con el empleado en Guatemala?
¿El empleo?
Sí,
sí, hay un grave problema con el empleo. Pues, primero porque muchos de los empleos se dan por favores, como si tú eres amigo de un político, si estuviste en la campaña de él, lo apoyaste, entonces van a darte el empleo. Pero tal vez tú puedes llegar a un lugar donde tú tienes más capacidad, pero el otro es su amigo, entonces él va a ir. Ajá.
Yeah.
We've highlighted some recent worrisome examples. The head of the Ministry of Communications, Infrastructure, and Housing being forced out for unauthorized payments, and a scandal involving the former Minister of Health illegally awarding kickbacks, some of in the form of the aforementioned favores. This begs the question, how long has this been happening?
Has that been going on for a long time here, or is that more recent? Or
I would say it's a long time issue. It's been forever here. So we had a civil war a few years ago. Actually, it ended in the '96. But even before that, when the military were in the power, same thing. It doesn't matter who is in power. They're going to steal. And what's sad about that situation is that here in Guatemala, everyone is so used to it that no one says anything. It's like, oh no, I know that's gonna happen. So I don't care about that. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like the status quo.
Exactly.
Yo creo que es algo que siempre ha estado. Tal vez ahora yo lo veo porque ya soy más grande y ya me afecta, ¿verdad?
Sí. Pero cuando era joven no lo he visto tanto.
Exacto, ajá.
Yeah. Okay.
Pero ahora sí, y pues mi familia siempre ha dicho como, los políticos y los políticos, entonces creo que el problema es el mismo de siempre, ¿verdad?
After our conversations, we decided to dig deeper into corruption in Guatemala. What we found was staggering. In the past 20 years alone, high-profile scandals have rocked the nation. Former President Otto Perez Molina and Vice President Roxana Baldetti were sentenced to lengthy prison terms for taking bribes from importers and defrauding state revenue. Former President Alfonso Portillo pled guilty in a U.S. court to conspiracy to commit money laundering. Former presidential candidate Manuel Baldizon was arrested for taking millions in bribes. Former Economics Minister Asisclo Valladares Urrea was accused of using $10 million to bribe corrupt politicians. These are just the big names, the scandals that make the headlines. They don't even begin to reveal the scale of corruption at the local level, or how deep these roots go in Guatemalan history. It left us with a pressing question. What can be done?
It's a big problem, man. We need to attack it. I would say that when this generation, the one that is in power right now, finishes, we might be able to make a change when we're older. Well, starting from now, but in order for you to get a position in government, you have to pay, which is not great. That's illegal, that's corruption.
Yeah.
And if you're prepared, well educated, they're not going to let you in because you are dangerous for them. So we just need to let this generation, like the ones that are now in power, to finish, and let's try to do it ourselves. And also, if I'm not able to see the change myself, at least my children or their children, I hope that they're able to do it, to see it. Yeah.
¿Qué piensas que pueden hacer para cambiar esta situación política? ¿Piensas que hay algo que un guatemalteco normal puede hacer, o piensas que es como...
Pienso que tal vez esto podría cambiar si todos nos uniéramos para porque realmente hay políticos que llevan años en el mismo lugar
Sí. Yeah.
y siguen comiendo y comiendo y comiendo y comiendo y cada vez es más y es más y es más. Entonces, pienso que tal vez, bueno, creo que tal vez lo que sería bueno es que la gente empiece a postularse para llegar a esos puestos y tal vez ellos puedan mejorarlo, ¿verdad? Porque como seguimos teniendo a los mismos políticos de siempre, ellos están haciendo lo mismo de siempre, ¿verdad?
Be a way for that to change? Do you have any hope for that?
I do have hope, but hope is not the only thing you need.
Yeah.
It's great to have it. Yeah, I would say it's just about using the money correctly, like having the correct people in the government, because of course it's hard, man. It's hard to live off with like minimum wage, and things are getting more expensive. So people are also trying to see ways of getting more money, either going to the States illegally, which is not great. I don't like that as well.
Yeah.
Or doing illegal stuff, which is not great either.
Yeah.
So yeah, the problem is government itself corrupted.
Yeah.
No education infrastructure. There are no plans. Like people just live. Let's say they just live and live day by day. There's no like financial education either. So yeah, being able to save up some money, what for, and having a plan itself is definitely the way to do it.
With that knowledge in mind, we shifted gears to explore their hopes for Guatemala's future, from the lessons they would pass on to their children to the way that they see the beauty of their country.
For one day, if you have children, what are you going to try to like teach them so that maybe one day they could be that change in this country?
Yeah, so I would say that the first thing is to be able to identify that the world is not, like life is not easy. It all depends on what you do, and of course it all depends on the circumstances you're put into. So first of all, I wouldn't like to have children if I'm not stable economically. If I had children, I want them to be the best person possible and of course have the best opportunities. But also they need to understand that people are struggling. They need to work themselves to understand how money works, what it's used for. And I would like for them to be people who seek knowledge. That for me would be like the most important thing. Seek knowledge and use it for good. So I would just say that, be a good person and earn their money the good way and try to be happy. So basically just give them the opportunity to educate themselves, but they also need to understand that every decision that they make is going to have a result in their life. So enjoy making decisions. Most definitely enjoy it, making them, but try to make the right decision always. Sometimes you'll make mistakes. Life is about that, making mistakes always. If you make a mistake, get up and try it again.
I love that. That's great advice.
Pues pienso que somos un país muy rico, no nos conocen tanto porque mucha gente dice que somos peligrosos, que es difícil estar aquí,
Sí.
pero cuando tú vienes puedes ver una realidad diferente.
Guatemala has a difficult and complicated history. Colonialism, dictatorships, coups, and genocides have all left their scars. Corruption remains a massive challenge, a roadblock to the nation's progress. Yet this is not the whole story. Guatemala's people are welcoming, resilient, and driven by hope, fighting each day for a brighter tomorrow. Our time here taught us not only about the struggles of the past, but also about the unshakable spirit of its people, a spirit that continues to shape the country's future.